So what is everyone's experience with VTubing? Anyone got any weird experience or anything?
Well, honestly, I tried to be a VTuber for like a second.
Really?
Yeah, well, okay. So like I never was successful because this was during COVID and I don't know if we have to censor that at the beginning of the video. Anyway, so it was during that period of time that nobody talks about. And I tried to get a PC
The
and
pandemic.
then like, that's the one. That's the word. Yeah, I was trying to get a PC, but then like because it was during that time, it was just like impossible. I kept on going back and forth with the people, and you can't run those programs on a Mac like easily, especially the Mac I have. So I just never was able to do it. That's why I ended up just kind of doing live.
Did you have
a camera?
Did you have a cool gay little animation?
I mean, have you seen my content in general? I feel like that's most of what I do. I don't know.
I was just did it was it like anime looking, or was it like your?
No, I mean it was just my 3D model that I was going to
okay.
use for like my my show and stuff anyway. So it was, but so that was it. I mean, like and honestly, I haven't actually seen any like VTubers. You'd think I would, given that like I'm anime brain, but like I actually don't engage with that very much at all. I have a friend who does like PNG tubing, but that's like he just does that just because he doesn't want to have a webcam on and he wants something to kind of be moving around. He's not like, I mean, I think he does watch VTubers, but I don't know.
The only thing I know really about VTubing is just Flamenco. Like Flamenco was really my pipeline to VTubing, and he's really he's very degenerate and weird, and so I was just like, yeah, this shit looks real. This shit looks rough, bro. I don't know about this.
Yeah.
You got like these weird anime stuff. They're like, hello, konnichiwa, kitty, something. I don't know. Like, it's just
kawaii desu. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. That was kind of
my own experience with VTubers is I always knew they were a thing, and then I remember I read a news article about the cam girls getting upset that there was a VTuber that was rubbing her fake pussy, and so I went and watched it on one of the cam sites. That was about it.
And with that, hi, welcome to Now Recording. I'm Matt Pitt. That's D-Max.
Yo.
That's Core.
Yo, what up?
And that's Beavers.
I need coffee.
And today, we're going to be talking about VTubers. Okay, so to give a little context, we were on stream about, 2 weeks now? 2 weeks ago? And we were talking about this VTuber that Flamenco had tweeted out. And they had a really weird voice. And we did not believe they had that was their real voice, and a lot of like VTubing fans in the chat were like, "No, it's a real voice. It's a real voice. She's always talked like that. Look, here's a video of her talking with her mother in that voice, And I don't understand the art of VTubing. I'm not trying to really disrespect it in a sense. I don't get it, and I don't get why people I don't get why people like believe that that's a real voice they're doing. Like, it feels like pro wrestling to me, right? Like, it's
all right, Matt. I'm gonna blow the lid off this whole operation here. All right, I'm just gonna come out and say what's on everybody's mind. All right, I'm sorry, commentary. You just don't understand anime. Now, I'm not saying that you're wrong in your opinions or anything like that. Not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there seems to be a little bit of, let's call it a cultural divide here. I think that like for somebody like me, who's like I said, anime brain, weeaboo, whatever you want to call it, like I see these anime VTubers. And I don't really think too much of it. Like, I kind of get what the bit is. It is a little bit awkward just knowing that it is a real person. But, like, the way I would describe it is kind of like the difference between you watching a Disney show with Mickey Mouse in it and you going to Disney World and meeting Mickey Mouse in person. It's like that difference, right?
Freudian slip.
Yeah. Well, maybe, perhaps. You caught me, Beavers. But you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No.
Well, no,
what I want to speak to, right, is so all the anime people said that, look, they spoke to their mother, right? And that's their real voice. Now, that has two outcomes, logical outcomes, right? The first is, think about if you're that mother, right, and you raised this child, and you knew their normal voice, and it slowly morphed into that. The disappointment you must feel in that moment, right? And then the second outcome of that, right? The alternative theory is that it is a fake voice, and they have told their mother, "Look, mom, I'm just going to put on this fake voice quickly.
Mom,
You're
we're
going to
making a
pretend
lot
that
of
it's
fucking
You know
me."
what,
money
Beavers?
here.
You're reminding me though of when I was younger and I used to watch Homestar Runner all the time. And I came home from school one day and I started talking like this, and everything I said was like I was Homestar Runner. And my mom
It is.
she bat me up, across the head, and she was just like, "Shut up! Like, stop doing that, nerd." And I stopped. You know?
No, it's
Florida
like
parenting.
in defense of these people that say that it is possible for people to speak in a way that they've seen on media and stuff like that. I mean, look at Mitch, right?
Uh-huh.
Mitch is from Australia, but the motherfucker sounds Australian 99% of the time. I mean, not Australian, American 99% of the
You think
time.
he sounds American? I don't hear
Yes,
that. Wow, okay.
he's got a
He
lot of
sounds pretty Australian to
Americanisms in his
me.
accent.
Yeah. Well,
But I
as an
guess
American,
that's-
I don't hear
yeah.
it. Maybe that's like y'all. Maybe that's like your type of.
No, we can hear it.
Okay,
we can
fair
hear
enough.
it.
I'm with you, Matt. I mean, I do. Yeah, I hear more
I
that
just
he's
figured
Australian. than
he
this, yeah.
obviously has like a different Australian accent. I just figured it was like a different type of Australian accent.
This is well, that's what's hard. Anyway, I don't want to get into the weeds of accents, but that's what's hard. It's like because for Americans, like we have like a variety of accents because a lot of our
Mhm.
states are the size of countries. So it's like it's just hard to like I guess delineate. Maybe I don't know.
Because like in England, it's a very small country, but there's still like a variety of weird accents.
Right. That's what
It's
I'm
like
saying.
you
Like,
drive like
yeah.
Yeah, you drive like 10 minutes and you're in a completely different area with different accents. It's the same here in Georgia. Just like you drive 10 minutes and you got someone going, "Hi, how y'all doing?" And then
That's
you go
so
fucking,
true.
you take a
Yeah.
right and it's just like, "Hey, how's it going?" It's the
Yeah.
same thing. So when it comes to VTubers, we decided to talk to actual VTubers. Now, I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it really doesn't matter because I could not find an anime uwu VTuber at all.
He tried.
No,
He tried, and they threw themselves in hospital to
Bro,
get away from him.
Yeah. I DM'd one, and it was looking good, and then I heard she tweeted out she was in the hospital. So I could not find one with like the anime uwu voice. That's all I wanted, one with an anime uwu voice, so I could just talk to him and be like, "Yo, is that your real voice? Why is that your real voice? Are you sure that's your real voice? Why are you lying Why are you lying about that being your real voice?" That's what I wanted
me
to
daddy?
Yeah, totally. But I couldn't find them, but I was able to find two specific VTubers and maybe a third later on. We'll be interviewing two right now. That would be Manic the Mechanic and Sky Levicus or Rin. And they're about to pop in right now, so we're gonna bring them in.
Wait, hold on. Before you do that, is Manic Mechanic a dude?
Yes.
How did? Okay.
What variety, Beavers?
What's wrong with
I
male
don't care about
VTubers?
variety.
I got a third girl coming later when we record again, so okay. That
How
one's
hot are
alright,
they in
that's
real
fine.
life?
Bring him in.
We'll see.
He just wanted a better ratio.
All right, guys, how's it going?
It is going
Yo.
great.
What's
Yo,
up?
all right. You guys sound pretty good. We're already in the midst of recording, by the way. We decided to just start bullshit first and then bring you guys in. So I hope you guys are prepared. I hope you
Yes.
guys are ready.
Yeah, I'm prepared.
Before we start, Manic, tell me about your channel, what you do, yada yada yada, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so my name is Manic the Manic Mechanic on YouTube, and I'm now I'm doing more like drama commentary stuff. The funny thing is, when you guys were reaching out for a VTuber, I was phasing out the gameplay streams, which obviously would include my VTuber model.
Right.
Just yeah. Now with my workflow, I literally just use Audacity over some gameplay, and
Gotcha.
but which has been to the benefit of my channel. But yeah, but historically, it has been a lot of gaming content.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Is it Ren or Sky?
Whichever you prefer. I guess most people in this community know me as Rennie.
All right, Rennie. Okay. What's your like channel name?
My VTuber channel is Sky Livicus, and
Okay.
I do also have a commentary channel that's like super new called No Skies Land. So
Okay. So I'll call you Sky for right now, just in case, so everyone can get familiar with you. Sky, how'd you find VTube?
how did I find it?
Or like, well, first, how'd you find it? What's your channel? Yada, yada, all that good stuff.
Okay, so before I even got into VTubing, I was a cosplayer, and with someone I was with at the time, they introduced me to a VTuber named Pikami in about, I want to say May or June of 2020, which is a little sad because she's quitting on my birthday this Friday. But
Oh yeah,
I,
in like 3 days, isn't it?
yep. So I was introduced through her, and what I do on my main channel is I'm just a VTuber. I usually do gameplay stuff, like collaborations and just pretty any like popular game and whatnot. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so explain to me what VTubing is, guys, and I'll go with Manic first.
Yeah. So at its core, it's just, with a webcam, you have your face rigged to a model. If you're to boil it down to its very basics, that's what it is. But obviously, when there's a whole VTuber community, and that has a lot of other baggage attached.
So am I wrong for like making the distinction? Is there a distinction between like PNG tubing and VTubing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's is there like a community difference? So for and also you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. PNG tubing is basically like you set up OBS so that a thing will move whenever a voice is heard. So it'll just be like literally a PNG, like a little image, and it'll move when somebody's talking. Versus I guess what you guys are talking about VTubing, which is like I can't remember the programs that you guys use. Do you know what are they again?
VTube Studio and
That's the
VRite
one.
Studio. Mm-hmm.
That was VTube Studio was the one I was thinking of. Yeah, where it actually like tracks your face like that. So there is a distinction. Interesting. Okay.
Is there an issue when something? So a webcam's looking at your face and tracking it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can that webcam accidentally turn on?
Sometimes it does, but I would also like to say that, like personally for me, I actually use my iPhone to track my face.
Right. But has there ever been a situation where like a VTuber who's never shown their face?
I'm just imagining a fucking neck beard.
That has happened before.
Yeah, the voice changer goes off.
Like, he's
Really?
just like, thank you so much. And it's just like a fucking 350-pound neck beard.
Yeah. There was a situation like that happen. It was probably a Chinese VTuber where the face cam went on and it was a male.
Yeah, it was like a pink-haired, cute anime girl. Like, oh my god, thank you guys. And then it turned on. It was like this. I think maybe he was like bald, but a really older gentleman. And he's like, oh crap. It was funny.
Yeah.
So when it comes like how because I keep hearing a lot of craziness from the fan base. How bad is it in reality?
I mean, they're a passionate bunch.
There's Twitter.
Yeah.
There's Twitter.
Okay. I think there should also be another distinction for the VTweeters. Okay.
Oh god.
Yeah. They say they're gonna debut soon, but they never will. They're never gonna stream. They're never gonna actually make content. They'll just call themselves VTubers. And then tweet. They're basically like tone policing the whole VTuber community.
Yep.
So they don't make any content. They're just going around policing other people.
They'll basically do the whole follow for follow back thing.
Yeah.
Technically. And that's pretty much them.
Yeah, cloud chasers.
Gotcha. So, like, how bad can they get?
Ooh. Pretty bad.
Yeah, I would
say.
Do
they go to doxing, or is it like?
Yeah, like how is it? How malicious are we talking? Is what I'm asking.
I would say it can get that far. I know quite a lot of them were a part of the Hogwarts Legacy shit that went down.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And I'm guessing. Have you guys experienced any kind of weird stuff from the fan base? Any parasocial stuff? Anything like that?
Yes.
You want to give an example real quick?
There are certain people that if you like follow them back or whatever, and I'm sure this is true for YouTubers too, they just automatically think you're like their best friend, and they want to like collab with you all the time, and then they start being creepy and want to get like NSFW art of you.
Of you? Wait a minute. So it's like they'll commission an artist to make NSFW of your character?
Well, I've been
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So like
How is that perceived in the community? Like, is that like something that's frowned upon, or?
the parasocial stuff is definitely frowned upon. And definitely like I'll say for me, like I do have like some NSFW art that I commissioned myself, but it's more about like asking like, hey, can I get this art of you commissioned?
Got it. Okay,
Mhm.
that's interesting. That's
Okay.
weird. So, is it too far to ask? What's your answer?
How do you mean?
Never mind.
Can I
Just
draw
never
you
mind.
getting gangbanged?
Oh god. No. Vtubers.
That's the exact answer too. No.
No. Okay.
As a male in this community, you are a man, right, Manic?
Yes, I am male.
Okay, just making sure.
Poor Matt. He's traumatized.
You're a man, right?
Yeah, bro. We've done so many shows on Jalen. It's really. All right. How bad is it for a man in the community?
So remember when I went down to the very basics of just like it's just a model with the face
Mhm.
attached.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I see it. Where I'm it's not really, people don't watch me for the sake of me being a VTuber. They watch me because of his personality. It's just my content. I'm using the VTuber model as a vehicle to express myself,
Right.
and while also not fully showing my face.
Yeah.
That there are many reasons to have a VTuber model, and
All right,
for me,
but
the lone
the
reason
real-
is anonymity.
But Manic, here's the real question. This is what we're trying to get down to. Do you get psychotic pussy?
What?
Oh, I mean, all the psychotic pussy has been outside of the internet.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Do you get any weirdos in the DMs and stuff like that? Like the parasocial stuff? Like I imagine that the parasocial stuff is more like a female thing, but there's like an issue with males as well. Is that, have you had any experience with stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, there is some stuff where, but I wouldn't say this is like purely because it's just VTuber. It's just like I think there's just for many content creators where they will kind of cross a boundary at some point, and I just have to be like, okay, how do I respond to this?
Gotcha. So I feel like in many ways you guys kind of just deal with stuff that we sometimes deal with, like when it comes to parasocial stuff and people getting too close and drawing
I wish
weird
I
stuff.
dealt with parasocial people.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Beavers.
Right.
just you fucking wait, buddy. It's coming. That door's gonna open. All right. So, any good memories of VTubing that you guys have that you want to talk about?
I
Oh,
guess
yeah.
personally for me, I went from like making my own models, like I have probably 45 Viroid models, which are more like the 3D ones, and just the first time getting like my live 2D model, which is the more animated one, was just a really good memory because it helped connect me to like my VTuber family, which is like everyone who's commissioned my VTuber artist, and we're all like really close. There's probably like
Oh.
200 of us, I want to say, that she's created, but it's led to really nice friendships that I've made along the way.
Would you say that that's typical? Like that's how these like kind of communities form? Is it's one artist who does the 3D modeling for like an entire community, or?
No, I would say there's like a difference. It depends on each artist because there's some artists who just really don't care. They just want to make the money.
Sure.
And then compared to like my VTuber artist, she really likes to get to know everyone and just have her like own community of like all the people that have commissioned her and stuff.
Okay.
Nice. Manic, any decent experiences you had?
Yeah, my like for the streams, and the way I got my model is that my artist also knew, I believe, his live 2D to create a 2D model, so he was able to hook me up for incredibly cheap. But I think it was the last 2 or 3 streams I did of Pokemon Shield. Those were great because I had my friend Chaz on. He was drunk, and that was funny. And then no, people were donating to get him even more drunk, which got he went sober for a whole month afterwards.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then the whole final part, it was like a 4.5 hour live stream for me to like get to finish the Elite Four and the Champion, all that stuff.
Were you nuzlocking, or was it just like a
No,
normal-
it was just normal.
That's fair.
It was literally
That's fair.
just normal Pokemon Shield gameplay. I like because before streaming, I actually never played Pokemon Shield because I was all on the Dexit train until. So I bought Pokemon Shield used and it, like with all the DLC of like in the cartridge too.
Yeah.
Or like in 2022.
Hey, since you brought up Pokemon, a quick question I wanted to ask actually was like I don't know, at least to me, is it weird for me to assume that there's a lot of overlap perhaps between the communities in VTuber land and like anime land? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, is that an unfair assessment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like okay, well let me ask you, just because I'm curious, if you guys had to say, are you familiar with the term Big Five anime? Do you know what that means?
Yes.
I've heard Big Three anime.
Big Three, Big Five.
Is that
Okay, that's
is that like Dragon Ball Z or like?
Yeah. Well, don't say any, Matt, because I just want to ask them both. What would you say is one? Like, what? You don't have to get into five. I just want one from that list.
Okay.
It doesn't, and it could be any.
I can name.
Yeah.
Well, whenever people say Big Three, I always hear One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach.
Okay. What do you hear, Sky?
Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, Inuyasha, Dragon Ball, One Piece.
Okay, interesting. I just, because you can tell, the reason why I ask is because you can tell a lot about an anime viewer based on like how they answer that question, because it tells you like pretty much when they came into anime, what type of anime they like it because depending on how, like, those factors, you might answer like all sorts of things. You might put One Piece first, you might put Dragon Ball first, you might put Bleach first, you might not have Bleach on the list. It's just interesting. It's like, because I wonder if there was like a very particular type, like, okay, that's a question. Is there like, I don't know. Never mind. I don't really want to go down this whole anime
let's
thing.
go down the road. Let's go down.
Okay.
Before we do, Matthew.
Yes.
How the fuck did you know what he meant when he said Big Five? Me and you need to have a talk.
It's like that's common sense. That's common sense. Matthew. That's common sense. Like, what's your Big Five? That means favorite.
I don't know, Matt. You're changing.
I don't watch anime, bro. I don't fucking watch it. It's gay, bro.
Yes, you do. You watch Berserk.
Yeah, Berserk is awesome.
Berserk is good.
Whatever you say, man.
I'll be no. In all seriousness, I've only really liked two animes, Berserk and Trigun. Other than that, like, it's just kind of mundane to me.
Those are two, man, Matt. Those are two like fairly obscure anime. That would put you in like some weebdom territory, depending on who you're talking to.
But it's the only two I've fucking watched, though. Like, I mean, it's because the reason why is because everyone that's recommended me anime, I watch it. I'm like, oh, that's gay. Yeah. That's gay. Yeah. That's gay. That's gay. Oh, this Berserk shit's cool. Oh, Trigun's cool. What's up?
Did you know that they did a reboot of Trigun like last? I think the first season just concluded, and they made it gay.
They made it gay? No.
Yeah, the Vash the Stampede kind of. Okay, so one of my first very popular videos was me shitting on the new Trigun before it came out, and apparently I literally just got a comment like a few hours ago that apparently in the final episode of season 1, Vash actually gets his old design with his hair sticking up because they completely changed Vash's design for the new show. And by the way, the new show doesn't even follow the manga.
Yeah,
just to be clear, because in the
really,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, in the original didn't follow the manga either, but that's because it wasn't complete at all, which makes sense. But it's also very much in line with it. I like the old anime.
I love you, man, but you're getting in the weeds with this. I don't think they understand the distinction.
You guys can call me a weirdo and a degen, but I don't watch this anime shit. That's what?
Well, okay, no. Well, let me get into this then, just because jumping off point for the anime thing. So, because there is a perception, at least for people who are not, who don't know about.
Can I stop you real quick? I'm sorry. Sure. I'm so sorry, Max. All right, Beavers, hold on. Big Five. All right, and the first thing I think of is Dragon Ball Z. That makes me a normie. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yes, it does.
I was just Dragon Ball Z.
No, he didn't say Big Five animes or Big Five whatever. He just said the word Big Five, and you immediately jumped to, Oh, you must be talking about the Big
No,
Five
he was talking
anime.
about, he was talking about he was talking about anime. He said
No, he
Big
was
Five, and I
not.
went
No, he
straight
was
to Dragon
not.
Ball
No, he
Z.
was not. No, he was not.
Well, okay. To defend Matt a little bit, the term Big Five is specifically for anime. Like I don't think you hear that like Big Five
Yeah,
sports
it's
shows or
specifically
Big
for
Five.
anime.
Beavers.
That's why Matt is a secret degenerate, because he knew
Beavers.
they were talking about anime.
Beavers, who do we have on right now? What do they do?
The mechanic guy and sexy Rennie.
Yeah, but what do
Oh
they
my
do?
god.
Oh God.
What do they do?
They pretend to be inside their computers.
But what is this episode about, Beavers?
Voices of people that pretend to be inside their computers.
Oh,
Oh
Beavers.
my god,
Beavers.
Beavers.
Beavers. It's about VTubers. What do VTubers like? What do VTubers like, Beavers?
Beavers
Anime.
process it.
Anime. So my brain said Big Five. My brain heard Big Five. Oh, Big Five anime. Dragon Ball Z. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm defending myself here. I'm not gay, bro. All right.
I think you even prefaced
I'm-
the conversation like leading up to it. You specifically mentioned anime like a few sentences before.
I might have, but
Don't
anyway.
defend Matt. Not what we do here.
Oh boy.
All right.
Okay,
Max,
so-
I'm sorry. Continue.
You're fine. There is a perception between people who do not engage with anime when they see the VTuber stuff. It gets a little bit like hard for them, I think, because they like there is a particular way that that anime kind of like that certain types of anime characters talk. There's like I actually posted this meme on my Twitter. At
Rennie,
some
say
point.
uwu.
Ew. I don't know.
Do it again like you did it on Xylee's show. Uwu.
Ew. I don't
Oh
know.
my gosh.
I don't remember.
You're calling me the degenerate. Okay.
Oh, okay. So, sorry, that threw me off. Compose myself. Okay, so, there's different. There in anime, there's different tropes of characters, right?
Right.
There's tsundere. There's
Yandere.
Yandere, tsundere. There's all sorts of different types of like things. You could go down the list of everything. Like
Yeah.
when somebody is portraying a character to be like that, they have to act and use a tone of inflection in a very particular way because they're emulating anime, which is basically doing a translation of Japanese, right? So this is why you end up having these weird cadences because it's always existed in the medium. So this is something that the commentary community the commentary community just doesn't understand because they don't typically like anime. There are some people in commentary who like anime, but it's few and far between.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about you guys, like. Do you guys see those types of personalities, those types of inflections and stuff on people when they're not performing?
Yeah.
Yeah, not in my case.
Because I'm surrounded by a lot of VTubers. Like I do see a lot of people act that way.
How often or how regular is that? Like if you had to put like a percentage on it, like what would you say? How many? Like what percentage of people that watch that do that?
I'm just gonna make an estimate.
Yeah, just a spitball.
Based on my friends. I don't know, like 60%.
Okay. So and you would assume that they also do that in public too?
When there's a weeb, there'll be a weeb anywhere.
Fair enough.
Number one, I just wanted to say, you said it's few and far between with anime fans and commentary. I'd have to disagree. I think I'm surrounded by them.
There are a lot of them.
Anime fans
It is
and commentary.
disgusting. It is disgusting, Matthew.
I will say this: they're
I'm right here.
closeted.
Stop
They're
insulting
closeted
me.
because they become shamed. Sorry, Cord. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, Matt, stop shaming.
But
me.
they don't. No, but they're not closeted. They don't get. They are immune to shame. I think it's what Rennie said. Like a weeb will be a weeb anywhere. They're
That's fair.
completely immune to shame. You get them in a VC, you shit all over them, and then they go, "Hey, you just don't get it."
Yeah.
You don't.
I'm like,
No.
I
Okay, this
get
is what-
it. It's just degenerate.
Okay, do you want to know what Bo Blacks told me? Like, this was his perception of all anime. It's about this teenager that just works to become super overpowered. That's the plot of all anime.
That's shonen. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
shonen, though. Like, because it is fair. That would be a fair. You would agree that would be a fair definition of just shonen, right?
Yeah, just shonen. Yeah.
For people who don't know, shonen is shonen anime, shonen manga are anime and manga directed specifically at young boys. So it's usually like action adventure type things. Like think like Dragon Ball or One Piece. Yeah.
Okay, but you know what anime does have? This is the one like genre, I suppose you could say, of anime that I just don't understand. It's slice of life. I don't understand how you can go live your. No, I don't know how you can go live your normal life and then come sit down and watch life.
Iran High School Host Club is a great show, okay? I will not...
because it involves a high school DX?
No!
Wouldn't that be more shoujo?
What's that? It is. It's more shoujo. I like shoujo.
I think that's why.
You wouldn't call that... So you wouldn't call that slice of life. You would call that shoujo.
Yeah, it's more shoujo. It's more towards like female viewers. Oh, so
what are all the different genres? Let's like describe to me the different genres of anime.
All right.
Go for it, Manic.
Okay, so shonen, young boys, seinen, more adult, but adult males. Shoujo, the female equivalent of shonen. Yeah, I think there's like an older female one, but I forgot what the name is off the top of my head.
I don't know if we want to say it anyway because I think it might allude to something else.
Hentai?
Hentai, there's a name for it. I can't remember it either, though.
Yeah, I can't remember it either.
We're talking about
hentai and masturbation.
No, it's just it's. I don't know.
What's the one with the fucking weird sex shit? Is that hentai?
That's hentai.
I'm just
that's
well. You have to understand too. Hentai,
there's fan service.
Hentai means pervert in Japanese, so it's not like that. That's our distinction of what it is, but that's not. I don't think that's their distinction of what it is. They might actually. I don't know. Actually, do they call it that?
Yeah, it'd be called ecchi.
Ecchi, yes, because that's like lewd.
Yeah, there's also like two genres for LGBT. One being yuri, which is girl x girl, and yoi, which is boy x boy.
Yeah.
There's also mecha and sports. I think that covers just about all the bases. I'm trying to think.
There's food animes.
Yeah, cooking.
There was one
Slice of life.
There was one anime I watched about 10 years ago while I was like on Vicodin that I really enjoyed because I was on Vicodin called Welcome to the NHK. Have you guys heard about that one?
I think so.
Oh, wow. I know an anime that you guys don't know about? Holy shit.
Well,
that makes you...
I think what familiar.
What we're discovering is that Matt is actually a giant weeb.
It was about what are they called? A Kikyo Moris or something?
Holy shit,
I have watched that. I just Googled it. Yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah. The shut-ins. I don't know. I was
Hikiko Moris. Yeah.
I was like on Vicodin, not leaving the house, and I was like, I can relate to this, you know?
Oh yeah, I've seen this one. This is a good one, actually. I like this one too. Yeah, this is cool. Yeah.
Do you know what I watched when I was on Vicodin?
What's that?
This was just in December. I watched that new Sonic show, Sonic Prime. It's not anime, but, but also Lucky Star.
Oh boy, you're not helping your case,
Lucky
pal.
Star and OG.
No, I'm just kidding.
The only animes I've ever watched. Well, we used to have an anime channel here, but it failed, and rightly so. But the only animes I've ever watched have been on Netflix.
Yeah,
what have you seen though?
It was on Netflix when I watched it.
What was that one? There's that one show with it was like a big series at the time. Devilman Crybaby or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching
profile
that.
Picture.
Yeah,
What
I
did you
remember
think of that?
laughing. I laughed at it when that girl is masturbating in the flats and there's just the donkey sound.
Oh my god.
Bro. Some of these, like, I think I've told this story on a podcast already, but I would always take recommendations because I've always been on a journey to find an anime I like, and someone was like, well, what do you like? And I was like, yeah, I like, fantasy stuff, like D&D, stuff like that. And he was like, oh, you should check out Goblin Slayer. I was like, okay, cool. I'll go watch Goblin
Oh,
Slayer.
no.
I click on Goblin Slayer. I'm like watching it. It seems like it's pretty good. There's goblins attacking this girl, and then they start raping the girl. And I'm just like,
wait.
Yeah.
Did FPS Diesel recommend that to you?
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that the he said he wanted the goblins from that?
Yeah.
show?
No. I don't think he
It wasn't
said
him? Okay.
No,
Yeah, it
this
was
like
Diesel.
it
No,
was a few years
100%.
ago when I watched Goblin Slayer. But yeah, I told the story with Diesel here as well. So that's probably you're mixing both stories together. Yeah, but no, I again, like last year, someone, I can't remember what this fucking anime was called. It was like a weird high school anime that was like and everyone's saying, "Look, bro, this anime is so fucked up, bro. You're gonna need to watch this. It's so fucked up. The ending is crazy." And I'm watching it, and it's just a bunch of fucking high school kids. It's like American Pie or something. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, this is pretty gay. And then at the end, like the girl kills the boyfriend.
School days.
Like, yeah, School Days. Yeah, I was like, I was like, okay, cool. That wasn't that crazy.
That's a very notorious anime.
Yeah.
Oh, I know another one that I watched just because there was all the hype surrounding it when I was younger. Was Elfin Lead.
Oh, Elfin Lead, yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that was a good one. Cat girl, cat thingy, something alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do want to ask, like, why do you guys think there's so much association between degeneracy and anime when it comes to fan base?
The people that smell at anime cons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a.
But like, what brings it out in them? Why is there so like? You understand that people look at anime, and years ago it was just seen as like, oh, it's a cartoon where people fight and stuff, and it looks pretty cool. Now it's just like weird cat-eared girls who like, I don't know, cut themselves, and fucking smelly dudes who have like their crusty underwears on their table and
Tips Fedora.
Yeah, Tips Fedora. Like, what happened? Why did it dissolve into this? Or has it always been like this?
I think it's always been like this. Mainly due to like, I want to say like cosplay and stuff. I feel like that's where a lot of it comes from. Because you have like because you have like the really big conventions. And like I guess like an example is like Anime Expo has 140K people that attend it every year, I think it is.
Yeah.
So imagine being in the LA Convention Center, or is it Anaheim? I can't remember. Like not a super big area where you're all crowded and there's just smelly people everywhere. There's creeps taking photos of the cosplayers' underwear and just acting like degenerates. And I feel like that's where a lot of it does stem from.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind too that a lot of these people are what are considered NEETs, which are like shut-ins. It's like people who don't really get out too much. And so like the one time that they do get out is during these types of things. And it's like, well, is it really all that weird to think about that they don't have great social cues, you know?
Yeah, but you know the thing that Matt's more getting to, right, is that the reason that you have that association with anime is all of the other fucked individuals on the internet are always into anime. It's like a comorbidity, right? It always exists with the other. Find me a zoophile that doesn't like anime. I challenge you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Find me a map that doesn't like anime.
It all leads back to anime.
That's not fair.
That is fair.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but it's like, I mean, because like with the anthropomorphic thing, like that's just like a thing for cartoons in general. And like if you're at least if you're an American of a certain age, and you're into cartoons, then you're predisposed to liking anime as well, because they were, like Matt mentioned before, synonymous at some point, because they were on networks like Toonami, which played on Cartoon Network and whatever, right? And I think there was even a few anime that were on like WB too, so it was like other channels, you know. Nick at Night like had fucking some things, like, you know. So I don't know. I mean, you're wrong. You're not wrong. I guess
I'm just saying, D-Max. I've never met a degenerate online that didn't like anime.
I think the reason, because I've asked this before myself, and the reason I kind of came up with is there's too much anime. Like if you ever,
there's a lot of anime.
Well, it's like, all right, so these are extinct now, but a DVD store. If you ever walked into a DVD store and you went to the anime section, you would just see loads and loads of animes of all types, different genres. There's an anime for anyone out there. So that means there's an anime for a pedophile out there. You know, like they're
Matt. And to that point, though, I have been saying this for years, and I wonder if you guys agree. For anime, it takes one. It takes one good one for you to love every other anime. Not love, but like at least to be able to understand it. Because, for instance, I had a very close friend of mine, my best friend, who I ended up spending a lot of time with during the pandemic. She was not into anime at all. And one day I was watching Naruto and she was like, "Oh, what is this?" And I was like, "Oh, this is Naruto, blah, blah, blah." I explained it. And then we watched the first episode and she became immediately enamored. This was 2 years ago. Since then, she has watched, I think, over 150 different anime, including One Piece, Bleach, Dragon Ball, Naruto in its entirety 3 times, I think. Like,
and she stopped bathing? and she dresses up like a cat. No, I'm kidding.
She bathed very irregularly anyway, but I love her to death regardless. No, that's not as she's a great person. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it takes one. It takes one really good one, and all of a sudden your mind gets expanded to the whole wide world of animes.
No, the thing is, it's like I can respect older anime, right? I've watched a few of them, right? But the newest shit, I can't get into like Magic Boy and stuff like that. I can't. It's so detached from reality that it's just not something I'm into. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you seem to be just like kind of generalizing very specific examples, saying that's the whole industry.
Magic Boy.
Boy.
No, I just don't like. I'm looking at my I put an anime on Netflix, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at a majority of what is here, right? Is Spully Man, very futuristic. Do you know what I mean? Like that tends to be that tends to be the direction that it's gone, and I'm not. I don't know.
How about this?
It's not for me.
Maybe this is a question. For you guys with anime, like when you guys get a new anime, like where do you hear about it from? Is it by word of mouth, or is it like a blog, or do you see like a tweet about it or something like that? Like, because I feel like a lot of times it's weird, right? It's like I don't think there's a lot of advertisement necessarily for anime, but certain anime will just kind of spring out of the ground and just go like wildfire.
Yeah, like Bochi the Rock, that just kind of blew up after like 6 episodes in its season.
Yeah, and like how does that start? How does that happen? Like where did for instance that one? Where did you hear about that one?
Oh, it was YouTube. Then I watched it. Then it started blowing up on Twitter. So I was there before it was popular, you could say.
Okay.
For me you personally, like I follow like Crunchyroll and Funimation like Twitter accounts and stuff. And they're usually the ones that are like premiering the anime and stuff. So I usually see announcements from them.
So you're like on the grind then, because like I would consider that like, you know what I mean? Like that's pretty hardcore viewing.
Well, what's funny is I don't really watch a lot of anime as of recently. So yeah, I see it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're being rehabilitated.
Yeah, Crunchyroll has horrible communication when it comes to like there is a Attack on Titan season 4 part 3 part 1, right? Yes, that is actually the name of it. We didn't know when it was coming on Crunchyroll until it just dropped.
Listen, there's a whole other conversation to be had about Funimation and Crunchyroll and like how this merger that's happening is complete total dog shit, and we could go all day on that, but I want to get back to VTubing really quick. I'm curious, like for both of you guys, what would you say is the over-under for actually becoming like, let's say somebody does not own a computer, doesn't have any of the equipment or anything like that. Like, how expensive is it if you wanted to be like a base VTuber? Like, how expensive would you say that would be, that prospect?
I would say it depends on what you're going for, right? PNG tuber, you could just make a stick figure and have it. If you use Vroid Studio, you can just make it yourself entirely for free. Live 2D is where you really have to pay.
Okay. How much is it for? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and also here's the deal: it's how much system resources say running VTube Studio takes.
How good of a computer do you typically need for? I don't want to ask for like specific specs, I guess, because that would be in the weeds.
Well, okay, like sometimes when I'm running games off my computer, even like my whole computer just crashes on stream. So that's.
I actually can't answer that because my laptop broke, and then my friends were nice enough to even put a computer together for me. So I don't know.
Oh no, you're fine. So you would say though that it takes like a fairly decent computer. It's not like any Joe Schmo could reasonably just like do like PNG tubing, sure, right?
Yeah,
but not for easy. Like a full VTubing situation if you're going to be a gamer.
Yeah, you'll need the setup for it.
Yeah, I can agree with that because a lot of people use different plugins to like throw stuff at them and stuff too. So you have to also counter that in.
Okay.
Back to Degeneracy.
I have a question.
Let me just get like, all right. So we were watching this VTuber, right? Named Pippa? Is it Pippa?
Pippa.
Oh, Pipkin Pippa.
All right. We're watching a clip of her, and she started talking about a thing called a vomit drawer, which I guess is something you would wake up at night and puke in a drawer and just let it sit there, and it got moldy. Why are these VTubers so open about stuff like this, and why are they so fucking weird? That's like
okay. Well, the vomit drawer. I'm assuming that's like a spin-off of the piss drawer meme. Are you aware of that meme?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, it's it's like the Snapchat where it's like my brother, pissed in the drawer.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like the same vein as like cum sock or whatever.
So do you think she's like fucking with people? She's not. There's no such thing as a vomit drawer.
I mean, like, was she saying she was vomiting in the drawer? Okay,
Yes.
yeah, I haven't seen the specific clip, but
I would say I think Pippa is more on like the edgy side of VTubing, so I feel like she could have been trolling, but at the same time, she could have not been trolling.
Gotcha.
I mean, she has been a bit of a neat, so I feel like that could be possible.
Let me ask you guys on the same vein, like, do you guys know of any people who use voice changers, and like, do they try to play it off like they're not?
Not
Personally,
personally.
Yeah,
No?
well, I would say personally for me, I had a VTuber friend that used voice mod, but they were very open about it. They just weren't confident in like their voice.
Yeah, and I understand that. I just because it's hard because I think Matt might have mentioned this before, but like we're watching some of these VTubers and their voices are, I mean, it's not like it's impossible for a human to be making some of these noises, but I just think about like the damage that it would do to your voice over a long period of time having to put that on. Like there are some people that just sound like that. I'm not saying that they don't exist, but
but they're few and far between.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
So my question really would be, because the reason why we're here today is because we were doing a stream with reacting to VTubers, and they had a very high pitched anime Ulu voice, and we kind of thought it was either a voice modulator or she's just a talented voice actor, and that's not her real voice was the main point. And people in the chat were adamant, no, it's her real voice. It's her real voice. Here's a clip of her talking to her mom with the voice. Why? First question. Have you ever experienced anyone who said on stream that it was their real voice, but behind the scenes were actually faking it? Second question, how many of these people do you think are that it's their actual real voice?
I would say a lot of the time VTubers definitely play up a part on stream, where off stream they're definitely not like that. Personally, for me, I just use my normal voice, but and what was the second question? I'm sorry.
Second question, how many VTubers that do the anime Ulu voice are actually telling the truth, do you think? That it's their real voice?
I can't really answer because a lot of them are taking inspiration from like Neanners, who has a really high pitched voice. So it's really hard to say.
Okay. So you think like it's just hard for me to process that they actually exist. You know what I mean?
Matt, like it's hard too because we did talk about that before as well, about like how they can kind of take on those anime like character tropes, like in terms of speaking, and put them into their own. Like it's very possible that they were just doing what I did when I was younger, playing Homestar Runner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. I mean, maybe it could be both. Both things are true. They're kind of putting it on, but it's also their normal speaking voice now.
Right.
Yeah. Like they think of it like say as an act or like a stage play, because you have to really project, have a loud voice if you want your voice to get across.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I have a question.
There you go.
Go for it.
All right. So there's the not safe for work VTubers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd assume that requires. Do you have to wear a suit for that?
I mean,
Where does that
Code
work?
does. There are people that wear suits for VTubing.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, if you're gonna be rubbing yourself, you got to be wearing like a.
Oh god, yeah. When it comes down to that, I can't really answer that. I know one of V Shoujo's main members, Project Melody, is a cam girl, but I'm not too sure how she does it.
Well, because my question was gonna be, I get it with a woman, right? Because it's kind of a flat canvas. But if I was a guy, right, would I have to motion track my penis?
It was a wiggle effect. Does it flow in the wind?
Yeah, would it have to be wrapped up with all those little white
No,
things
the
on
model would just have jiggle physics.
I
Yeah.
didn't think about that before, but now it's processing in my head.
I
it?
mean,
I gotta sell it.
I mean, there is always just like commissioning art of like you fucking somebody.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said earlier, like a lot of
we
the
know an
time
artist
it's
is okay.
just like I said, a lot of the time it's just actually commissioning art, but not necessarily doing it. Like even I have like an art piece or two.
I'll expect those in my DMs.
Okay. All right. I'm about to go into a subject that we can't come back from, but first,
Oh
I want to.
boy.
I want to ask. What VTubers would you guys recommend for a good experience?
Me.
Wait, no, but didn't you say that you're not doing too much VTubing anymore?
Yeah, that's fair. I think this past week is like the first time I haven't streamed in a week, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
I would say, besides myself, there's a lot. There's so many indie VTubers that are really under the radar that you could just find just going on Twitch and be like, oh my god, like I really like this creator. But I guess like from personal experience, like let's say you want someone that's more mainstream. The Niji Sanji company has a lot of English branch people that are pretty funny and entertaining. It just depends on what you're going for.
What is that? I'm sorry. What is that?
Oh, I can get into the companies if you'd like me to. So there is, I want to say 3 major VTuber companies. There's Niji Sanji, there's Hololive, and there's VShojo. Niji Sanji and Hololive are both companies from Japan that have English branches. And then VShojo is Twitch. Oh, which by the way, the JP branches are on YouTube, and the VShojo is a bunch of Twitch streamers. One of the biggest names you'd probably know from VShojo specifically, because they were indie VTubers before, is Iron Mouse, because at one point she did have the most subscribed to Twitch channel. And I want to say Hololive has Gargura, who was the most subscribed to VTuber on YouTube.
So just to put this in YouTube terms so that maybe the audience can understand, would you call them like MCNs or NCNs or I can't remember MCOs?
So,
Multi-channel
networks.
I
If you
They're
don't know what that
management
is,
companies.
I think they'd be considered like it's like Major League Baseball, and the indies are like minor league baseball, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sports.
Yeah, but
sports. I don't know that one either.
one important distinction to make is that since these are Japanese companies, they do things a little differently. And the VTubers, it's like the idol industry in Japan. That's
really?
very much
Yeah.
It's like the idol industry.
Yeah, basically just that's where say Pikami's graduating. The term graduation came from a Japanese idol, where like she graduated college and then she was like, okay, I'm done with this. But now it just basically means fired.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, basically means like quit, fired.
Okay, and that's the one that got in hot water because of the Harry Potter stuff. And
there were multiple, but she's the one that quit.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, and so she's graduating. What you're saying?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So, anyone a wrestling fan, real quick? Because I think I got a better explanation.
Sort of.
All right. So,
why did you say that?
Would you say that these what are they called? VShojo and all these things? They're like WWE and AEW, right? And then you guys are like the indie guys and the indies. Working your asses off trying to get called up to the big one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you guys got to do to get called up to the big one? What gets their attention?
So the thing with let's say being called up to the big ones is that like for example, let's take Gura for example. She she did not she was not Gargura before Hololive. So Hololive owns all of her assets and the Gargura character. Basically.
Oh, okay. So it is kind of like wrestling. They created the whole character. That's what happens in wrestling. You create the gimmick, the character. Yeah. Okay.
Which I would say, like, for the company specifically, besides VShojo, because VShojo, most of them were big streamers beforehand. With the JP companies, you actually have to audition for them. So you have to fill out like a Google form, because I did this before. You have to fill out a Google form, and then they'll call you, I believe it is, and then eventually like they'll make your character and everything as you talk about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you like you gotta basically do VTubing in front of them. Be like, hey, what's up, chat? You know?
You have to make like a 5 to 10 minute video of you just doing anything. You don't even have to really show your face, but they do want to see you do like gameplay and stuff like that, and just like know what you're good at, so they can like promote it.
Is Nux Taku a part of that stuff too, or is he indie?
He's indie.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but you know, he had the big channel and audience beforehand.
Right.
Would I be wrong in assuming that not the indie guys, right? I assume that that's every gender under the sun, right? But the big guys, the big management companies, I'd assume they're mostly female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
like I will say, like,
I could be your girlfriend.
Yeah, like I will say, Hololive is only like recently in like the last year or two started having male branches, but Niji Sanji, the reason they're so popular at the moment is because they've started having really popular male VTubers, because even though for the indie guys there's a lot of male VTubers, for the companies there wasn't a lot. So Niji Sanji has made quite a bit of like male VTubers are very popular, like Vox, Akuma, Luca Kaneshiro. There's a lot of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember my friend recommended that I were to like say apply to either HoloLive or Phase Connect. And I just bookmarked it for like 4 months at this point, because I feel like, you know, like, I mean, I'm a dude. I don't think they're looking for dudes.
Yeah, they also have like specific audition forms for males and females as well.
Yeah.
All right, I'll have to look at that for my web or at their website.
Yeah.
All right. I assume if they also get dudes, they kind of want soy guys.
They want like the anime dudes, like, hello, how's it going?
No,
dude,
I'm a strong
I
anime
think you are
man.
so
I would
wrong.
like some bits,
so
and I would
wrong.
also like a sub or two, please.
I will.
Rennie, who do they have? Is it the masculine? Oh, give me some bits, babe. Or is it the? Or is it the? Oh, I had tea this morning, and
I would say it's actually both, because some of their, like for Niji Sanji, some of their most famous male VTubers, which is funny because they collaborate with Corpse anyways, a lot of them do emulate like Corpse's voice. And then there's others that are on like the other side of the spectrum.
It's both, because there's only two male personalities in anime.
Yeah, you can
pretty much. Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to ask actually, is that like the way that they cast that, is that based on like the anime tropes?
No, I think it just depends on the person.
Okay.
Because they'll also like bring in people like there's a male VTuber named Renzoto who's part of Niji Sanji. He actually didn't even really know that much about anime, but he passed the audition.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I do love how women get their pussies wet because of Corp's husband's voice, which in reality is just him regurgitating acid.
Dude.
That is true.
Dude, I remember the dream stands back in like 2020. No. Yeah, and then then he revealed his face and was like, oh, yeah, I mean, he didn't even look horrible.
No,
like they were just calling him ugly.
Well, since you mentioned that, I'm curious, because some communities have like mortal enemy communities. You know, is there anything like that for VTubing?
Not really, but I will say I'm in like the really weird in between, like the VTuber and the commentary community, where I see VTubers that really hate commentary that I've had to have conversations with, and then commentary people I've run into that really hate VTubers.
Of course they hate us, because we expose them for the degenerates they are.
Oh, beavers.
Yeah, well, this one peeked in a drawer, and this one screwed a little kid, and you know.
Well, from like, from like a conversation I've had to have with a friend is like, when some VTubers that I know think of commentary, they only think of Keemstar, and then they only think of Keemstar's past.
You know what's
Okay.
funny is we just had Darius on, and he also said the same thing.
Dude, it's like I've rewatched like the N-word video from like way back when for like the first time in years. It's like, how did he survive that, bro?
I
well,
remember.
it's
I
a
mean,
different time, bro.
yeah.
A different time. You could,
Yeah,
isn't
dude,
that
it's like-
crazy that the internet back then you could just do that and no one cared?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like unearthed in 2016. It was like, okay, that's bad, but we're
Yeah.
not gonna call his sponsors and get them to drop him.
And then 2019, holy fucking shit!
Well, it's really funny because remember the person that blew the lid off of, I mean, not really, like he wasn't the first to talk about it, but the person to blow the lid off of it was iDubbbz, you know?
Yeah.
And now look at where we are today, you know?
What a
Man,
joke.
that Etsy spell really worked.
Eh.
I want to circle back real quick.
Hmm?
How did VTubing begin, and who was like the big VTuber where it just blew up? Because from my point of view, as someone who doesn't watch VTubing, I started hearing about this maybe 2 years ago, and all of a sudden, like now it's everywhere.
Oh, I can
Yeah.
answer that. So the very first VTuber was Kitsuna Ai, who's from all the way back in 2016. But because HoloLive came out with their English branch in 2020 with Holo Myth, that's when it really exploded because we finally had a branch that was English speaking for the overseas fans.
Right.
I
So it's
mean-
still very young, is what you're saying.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
it is.
debatably, Annoying Orange is the first VTuber.
What?
I've
Well,
I've been in a
be a
debate for
point.
like it was like a whole hour of people debating is Annoying Orange a VTuber?
wait, so you take the position that he was, or that it is?
I don't. I mean, I don't
To
even.
be fair,
know,
his eyes and his mouth moved.
I say,
Yeah.
Those were his eyes and his mouth.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but that's not over a stream. Like I don't think when I think of VTubers, I think of live streaming. I don't think of videos. You know?
Wow,
Yeah.
you're so fucking narrow in what you can
Yeah.
say.
Well, because like for
Just
instance,
let 'em
like my
have this.
videos from 2015, like I had like a PNG thing that I was like, but it was very expressive. Like, would you call that a VTuber? Like, I don't even.
Were your
I mean-
eyes in it? Was it part of you?
No, I guess.
Exactly.
So it's only. Oh, I see what you're saying because it was
When
his
every
real-
time your mouth
Oh.
moved, did it move, Max?
Well, I mean, I made it do that. Like I
Whatever.
edited it to be that way. I don't
Whatever.
know. This is
Yeah,
weird.
but that's
Yeah.
just called having too much free time.
there might be a distinction between whether like you do it in real time through OBS or whether it's like post processing effects.
Yeah,
I'm not
I mean,
sure.
I mean, people could even say like people in the art community, art commentary community. I don't know what they are. Could like their PNG could be
Yeah,
considered like VTubers.
I
Okay.
think they were retroactively called PNG tubers.
Gotcha.
I call them degenerates.
All right. I keep thinking of questions because I think I subconsciously want to avoid this next topic.
Okay,
your
before that, because I haven't given my recommendations for VTubers. Other than
Gotcha.
myself.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pipkin Pipka. Oh, okay. Just and Panko. Both
Okay.
from Face Connect. Just
Okay.
okay. Yeah. Just I just want to build some more anticipation.
Oh, no. Oh, and we're gonna keep building it. In your opinion, who's the worst VTuber out there? Like, is there really like some scummy VTuber piece? Is there a VTuber Keemstar?
Everyone from
They-
Shoujo.
Like when you mean Keemstar, are you asking like
Well,
being
like,
the worst
okay, so,
person or
like-
like
Like,
news?
he's seen as a shitty person who says shitty things. Is there like a VTuber that's like gets a lot of shit for being a shitty person? Kind of like a heel, a bad guy, you know?
There's like in the last few years, there's really been like some big dramas like Bunny GIF. There's probably others that I'm forgetting, but there's definitely some people that are like really big that a lot don't like. And of course there's Flamenco.
Who's the cockroach that has survived is what matters really to asking you.
Yeah,
Right.
like
If there's a bad person that has done bad things, but still survived like a cockroach in the nuclear fallout,
Mm,
who would it be?
I guess I'll have Manic go because it's kind of hard to answer. 'Cause
Yeah,
they
I
all
mean,
seem to bounce back.
yeah. They all just it just all kind of like flies off of them.
I think,
But,
I think
Yeah.
what you're trying to say is just too young to tell at this point, right?
Yeah.
It hasn't
Yeah.
evolved to that yet. I get
Yeah,
what you're
I
saying.
mean, I feel like people don't like Nux Taku really, the VTuber, and people always shit on Kalipe Mori's music.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Even-
like I would say like these big dramas, right? They'll last for a week and then everyone will just be over it. Those people will just get more subscribers or more followers after it, and then people will like forget about it until the next thing happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Anybody else have any other questions before I go into the next topic?
I wish.
Okay. Beavers, got anything else?
Let's talk about Loli.
Oh God.
Oh, right in the deep
Nah, I'm
end.
joking.
There we go.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Let's move
No,
on.
that was
please.
the next Beavers. That was the topic.
I was waiting for you to ask that. I was like,
Yeah.
when you
No,
said,
I
"Oh,
kept-
we're gonna go off the deep end," I was like, "Okay, he's about to
Yeah.
ask them about like."
No, I'm saying I keep trying to avoid it because that's like once we go here, we can't come back.
Guys,
can't talk
I
about
am
Loli and be like,
literally
"How's your day
sweating. Literally sweating right now.
Why are you sweating,
Aw.
T-Max?
Get some
Well,
water.
Because this is
Why
a
are you
hard.
so nervous?
I'm not nervous. I'm
Why are you
nervous.
so
because
nervous, T-Max? You're gonna
Oh,
turn over
God.
your hard drives?
Beavers, I already admitted to liking Iran High School Host Club, and you already called me out for it. So you know what? I'll turn in my hard drives tomorrow
All right.
after I
So
bleach bit them.
to give some context, I was out searching for an anime ubu VTuber that I never got, but people were recommending me people. And I would look at their Twitter bios and I'd see stuff like Loli who likes to suck toes. And I'm like, is this common? All right. So my question really is, why is this here and why is it accepted?
I mean,
Yeah, have
it's
fun,
basically-
guys. Have fun.
Yeah, it's basically kind of been a war because, it's funny because are you aware of like the like anime tradcath people on Twitter where the anime profile pictures? So like, yeah, it's funny because the lolicons, they'll be attacked from basically all angles. Like for the Christians, the woke people, the LGBT, all of them will just attack lolicons. It's really funny, but here's the thing: lolicons they'll always say this without fail. They always point to like Dr. Pizza, where I think he's like some tech bro journalist or whatever. He like was ranting about lolicon once and was like against it, right? Yeah. But then he got like arrested for being, for actually having CP on his computer, I think. This was back in like 2018. So apparently it's a trend because do you remember, or I'm assuming you all remember the Seth the Programmer stuff?
Yeah.
So somebody posted like this is all the way back from like 2015 where like Seth the Programmer tweeted like, man, lolicons are pretty fucked up. And it's like and it's like the same reset the clock meme,
right?
But it's like that's not. I mean, I don't think that really describes everybody. I mean, okay, just kind of show lolicon on the street to any like normal person that's not like terminally online.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have a disgusting reaction.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't know from experience. This is completely hypothetical.
Beavers, I think we found our cockroaches. What you're saying is like they somehow reset, stick around, they're still holding on, and you got people who just I do not understand this Loli stuff at all. I'm in my 30s. I don't get it. This was not around when I was young. There was no one ever talking about, whoa, bro, have you seen this 15-year-old drawing of this anime girl? What the fuck? None of that was
4,000 years old in the
Oh,
lore.
Matt, I DM
Back
you
in
one
my
time,
day.
and you make it a whole big thing. Yeah.
Back in my day, we used to go out and get a 15-year-old.
Yeah,
I don't know about all
back in
those
my-
Jesus Christ, Beavers.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but like I it's just okay. So they're very defensive of their liking of this shit, and they attack, right?
Yeah. Okay. Do you know? Okay. I think this is really what got me to be like very less permissive of their degeneracy, or like apathetic, you could say. It's like I realized that they would cancel people for being anti-loli, but they wouldn't exactly have that kind of like cultural influence. Imagine if say the lolicons had enough influence or enough sway as like say let's just say like any other protected minority group had.
Right.
That like imagine we say something anti-lolicon on this podcast or whatever, and then we get doxxed, and then we get fired from our real jobs.
Yeah.
Because they're so malicious, is what you're saying.
Yeah. That'd be the same kind of thing that would happen.
It's weird. Sky, what's your take on all this stuff?
What was the question again?
What's your take on lollies?
I don't like them. There's some characters in anime that are lollies that are cute, but like again, they're lollies. It's a scary area.
Like, oh, yeah.
Can I ask you guys, like, because people say this, and I don't know that I know this distinction myself, which is why I'm asking.
Mhm.
Is there such a thing as non-sexualized lolly?
Yeah, because I think lolly is really just a body type, right?
It's Lolita.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
is. It's just,
Yeah.
isn't it just like pretty young woman is what it means?
Um.
As far as I know.
Well, there's two things. First, there is like Lolita, and then just a preface. There is also Lolita fashion.
Right.
Yeah.
But sorry, my head just buffered.
No, you're okay. You're okay. No, but that is that a distinction?
I'm walking
'Cause,
through
like,
a minefield.
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that like because it's easy. Like obviously, you know, anything that portrays like minors in sexualized positions or in whatever, like whatever that is, disgusting, horrible.
Orange.
Don't like
Yeah.
it. You know. But it's just hard because it's like I know that like there are some characters, like you said, like the same way we were talking about tsundere and yandere and like these types of terms that mean specific types of characters in anime. Lolly is just a body type, like it, like or at least there is certain characters who are identified as lolly body types that are not in media that are sexualized at all. You know.
Yeah.
Right.
So
is it okay to like if your character is like a 14-year-old girl or a 13-year-old or 12-year-old girl? That you're pretending to be as your VTuber persona, but you don't do anything sexual. Because I think the issue really is that could probably be okay. But the fact remains is when you're on a stream, jokes can happen. You can make jokes and stuff like that. And maybe one of these jokes can become sexual. And next thing you know...
Not even,
yeah. Well,
it's not even the jokes. The problem becomes, right, is... So let's say Loli is the thing, right? The little cute characters in the shows. I like them, right? They're cute. Right in the anime shows
on 4K.
But the problem becomes is all right. Is it a 15-year-old girl pretending to be a 15-year-old girl online? Right, that's fine. Okay, because it's a 15-year-old girl. The problem becomes when you have a 28-year-old man pretending to be a 12-year-old girl on the internet with a little anime thingy. The problem there is the disconnect because that is a sexual man. Right? That guy has drives. He has the way that his brain works and everything. And he is portraying this little character. Now, to think that he can do that without, if he does it for long enough, or it's his main thing, to think that some of his own personality, some of his own traits aren't going to spill over into that character, right, would be disingenuous. And then the problem becomes is suddenly you have a 12-year-old girl saying, I want to suck cock. You know what I mean?
I think
there's a problem here.
Yeah, no, I think there's definitely a distinction because most people don't do that, and the ones that do, even though I don't like that they're being lollies, they usually say that they're 18 up creators.
I don't know.
That's the best way to answer.
I want to point out as well, just on the broader context of the conversation. I know this is going to be a groaner point, but I just want to make it, you know. I don't know this for certain, but isn't the age of consent in Japan like 14 or something? Like, I'm just saying that. What is it? Do you know?
It might be 16.
I think they upped it.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. Of course, it doesn't matter. But I'm just saying that like there is at least from the Japanese anime manga perspective, like I can at least see why having, let's say, at least just more romantic relationships in a certain light at a younger age is more permissible, given that is the law. That's all I'm saying.
And if the Japs want to tickle their pickles to it, I can't stop them because that's what's culturally normal to them.
That's
but if you live in a Western country, you do that.
I agree.
You are fucked.
I agree.
Yeah, here's a funny thing about Japan. I believe it was like sometime in the early 2010s that they criminalized CP. Where like that's like officially illegal, right? But there is a 5-year grace period to like wipe that all off your hard drives.
Wow!
Didn't like the creator of Rurouni Kenshin get popped for that?
The creator of what?
Rurouni Kenshin, am I saying it right? The samurai show.
Rurouni Kenshin.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
It
I don't
took them
remember
till
either.
2010. 2010. Dear God, that's a degenerate
Let's see.
society.
yeah. In
People
November 2017, Watsuki was arrested on charges of possession of
Oh,
CP.
Watsuki!
Oh, that's
Watsuki!
yeah. All right, cool.
Fuck you, Beavers. Go.
Oh,
Uh,
Ching Chong doing wrong.
Go
Are we allowed to
fucking
make
hell,
fun of-
Beavers.
Well, it's a pedophile, so we can make fun. Possession of
gross.
CP DVDs. He pleaded guilty and confessed to being a pedophile attracted to girls in elementary and middle school.
Ew.
Okay, all right.
That's off.
There you go. Yeah.
Mhm.
That show was actually not that bad from what I remember. But
Yeah, Rurouni Kenshin's pretty good. I'm trying to remember what else he made. He did something else too that I liked a lot.
yeah. Well, he likes little girls, Max. Sorry.
Great, love it. I just they say don't meet your heroes. Well,
Isn't that
You're not a 13-year-old girl. I don't think you have to worry.
I remember hearing as when I was like a young teenager, I remember hearing how the Japanese culture was kind of degenerate. I remember hearing something about a vending machine with like used
Panties.
underwear in it. Yeah, panties and stuff like that. Is it possible that the Japanese culture has just invaded us, I guess?
Okay, so in
you
like,
never had a
games-
Tumblr, did you?
Yeah.
So like in stores now, there's gachapon machines.
Yep.
Yeah, so like so you've seen that too.
Oh yeah.
And it's been like more widely adopted.
Look at any downtown district now. Everywhere has boba. Like I know that's not. Is that? I don't know if that's actually Japanese specifically, but that's like.
Taiwan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of these
Same
different
difference.
a lot of these cultures though, because like you could include K-pop in this. I think like there's been a slow encroachment of, I guess, what would you call it, the East? You
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
So
And like with all the degeneracy in Japanese society, there is one thing to mention is that with the like there has been like a mating crisis in Japan, and like, which caused a birth rate crisis too, which that's been happening for quite a lot longer than we've had it here.
Mm-hmm.
I just a side note, right? I was thinking about the lolly lovers on Twitter. I've seen a few accounts like that. I'm not saying it's the majority, but a few of them. Most of the lolly lovers they accept all forms of degeneracy, right? When you look at their bios, they just accept it all. But I always get so confused when a guy will be like, they're pro map or they're pro lolly or whatever, and then they'll say that they're anti-zoophile, right? Is that where you draw the line? Is that your line in the sand? You can fuck kids, but you can't fuck dogs.
Dogs.
But what if the dog is a minor?
Personally, right? Hot
Aren't
take.
they all
I'd rather have you fucking dogs.
Oh God, are we gonna have that conversation?
That's
I'm gonna kill myself.
Oh God.
Okay, look, Matt, if I put peanut butter on my dick and the dog comes over and he licks it, right? He clearly wants it.
All I'm
Okay.
saying, Beavers, is that you're technically a furry. So I think fair enough for your opinion about this.
Okay, brony.
That's you're not even wrong.
So
I can't
all
even
right.
fight you.
All right, I think we did the job of having the conversation about Loli. God help us, and yeah, we've confirmed that it is indeed very, very disgusting. There's one.
I have a question for Sky. Before you continue.
Yes.
Sky, will you sell your panties?
For $1 million.
Start saving up, Beavers.
That's a bit pricey.
I was thinking about the last topic I really wanted to talk about. I was looking into this because we were talking about cosplaying earlier, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like in between cosplaying and anime. Have you guys ever heard of? I think her name was Snow. She was a TikToker.
Yep.
Play Snow Murderer.
Yep. I know her.
Yeah, sure. They because their pronouns
Oh,
are
they.
them.
Yes.
I'm just fucking with you. Was a yandere TikToker who accidentally killed their friend. So basically, they were really weird. They cosplayed a lot, and what was the thing they cosplayed as? It was like a video game.
Danganronpa.
What's up?
Danganronpa was the anime.
Okay, yeah, it was.
Dingle Rumpus.
Yeah, and they had like this persona where they would adapt to the characters they were playing, and it was really
No, Persona
weird.
is a different franchise.
Yeah.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm just derailing you.
So they had this persona that they would adapt to each time they were playing a character. They're really weird, really immature. So they're watching. They're with they're with all their other anime buddies, and they're watching what's that Batman show, Gotham? They're watching Gotham, and the girl's like, "Oh, I have that same gun that the character's using in the television show." And he's like, "Want to see it?" And so they go to grab the gun, and they're showing it off.
Killed someone. Does it really matter?
Yeah, they're showing it off. They're showing it off. They're like, "Hey, look!" And like they're drunk, so they're pretending to shoot each other. And then one of the people is like, "Oh yeah, do me next. Do me next." And so they point the gun, pull the trigger. The bullet or the gun is loaded. Shoots the person in the head.
Holy shit!
Yeah. And then so they get arrested. They get like what is it called? Manslaughter charges. They get bailed out. They take a huge break. None of this is being talked about. It hasn't made the news yet. All of a sudden, they start posting TikToks again, and they're making like weird, like murder TikToks and stuff like that.
I saw those.
Yeah, like singing to murder songs and fucking being like, oh, there was one TikTok where it's like, where are we gonna hide the body? You know, and then all of a sudden, all this stuff started like coming down on them, and it just blew the fuck up. I don't really know where I was going with this. It's just kind of popped in my head when we were talking about cosplaying.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
But when it comes to like, do you guys do cosplay? Are you afraid to like is there any hesitation to interact with these people sometimes? Like, because you're not, you're wondering like how weird are these people going to be?
I've done cosplay since I was like 12. It was like my hyperfixation. But due to some stuff that happened with a content creator, I don't really like. I still cosplay, but due to some trauma, I don't delve as much.
Right. Okay. But is there hesitation, Manic, to maybe like avoid, even if it's not cosplaying, just the animes in general? Are you hesitant to like go chill out at somewhere with a guy who's like really into anime to the point because you're thinking like, oh man, I don't know, I've heard so much weird shit about these people?
No, I wouldn't say as much. I mean, like if anything, for when it came to the cosplay stuff, like I enjoyed when I didn't really do it all that much, but there have been a select few occasions where I did it, and I enjoyed it. But it was quite a it was a thing to worry about, and also I haven't gone to that many conventions.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I would say like a majority of like VTubers actually come from like the cosplay community itself.
Nice.
And two, I would just make the point that like the cosplay community, at least that I understand, like I don't know on the professional level, but at least from like conventions and things that I've gone to, people who do cosplay are very welcoming, very accepting. Like they like
That's
it's not a very like, that's what I'm saying is there's just not a high bar for entry at all. It's like if you even make a small attempt to do a cosplay, they will take you whole on.
I would say in person, a lot of cosplayers are nice, but it's very different online. It's very toxic online.
It's weird how the culture, because cosplay like 10, 12 years, 15 years ago used to be just hot chicks dressing up in costumes. That was cosplay.
Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon. And
they used to put them. They used to put them outside like game stores and stuff like that.
Wait. I'm sorry. Question for the both of you. Do you know what Homestuck is?
Vaguely. It's
okay.
It's
So
like
so Sky does. No. Manic, you answer first.
Yeah, it's like the like very like Newgrounds cartoon, right?
Okay, wrong answer, but fair enough. Sky.
Yes. Yes.
So you know what it is. Like, could you describe it for me?
I can't describe it. I hate the fandom.
Okay. I was just curious about that because
did I confuse it for Homestar Runner?
Yeah, Homestar Runner wasn't on Newgrounds, but that's it's a Flash animation.
Okay.
So yeah, you're not wrong, but yeah. Anyway, I was just curious about that, just because there was somebody else who was into Homestuck recently. And
I've
looked it up, and the first thing that pops up is there LGBTQ in Homestuck, and it says that there's a large quantity of characters in there, so I won't be watching it.
Yeah.
I was going to say one of the reasons I dislike the fandom is because there has been a couple conventions, some of the biggest, where they've gotten their body paint all over the walls and destroyed stuff. So not like there's a nice percentage of them that are nice, but the rest of them almost got us kicked out of the convention centers.
And they bring their buckets everywhere, and it's just
they
disgusting.
throw buckets at people.
I think there was a situation with cosplaying. I think Stefan Corbino was telling me this story where he was working security at a convention, and I guess there was this weird like anime hentai area, and he like turned the corner and they're all just jerking off.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like
into a bucket.
Stefan Corbino would have to go into way more detail, but I feel like he's told me this in DM. So if you give me a second, I might be able to read it.
Yeah, because I'm curious, because like the bucket thing is like an inside joke in Homestuck. It's like that's how the trolls in that there's a group of characters called the trolls in Homestuck, and they mate using buckets, and it's a whole like Homestuck is like a whole thing.
I
got it. So I asked him, just for context, and I'm sure Stefan wouldn't mind me reading this. I asked him, remember that story you told me about the anime con where everyone started getting weird, so to speak? Write that one out for me when you get a chance. I told the story, but I don't remember how it all went. Haha. And he says, haha, no worries. Basically, security people would go from hall to hall to check if everything is going kosher. When midnight comes, they start showing more adult-centric shows, including hentai. There would be at least one volunteer staff member checking IDs at the entrance to make sure they are over 18 for these showings. And once in a while, they'd bust in the view halls asking for hand check to make sure no one would be jerking it under a blanket or a poncho. This one time I was hanging out with security staff when I used to know most of them. We busted some degens, yes, with plural, spanking it to an incestuous lolly scene. These guys breached the cheap sugary booze and weed. Cops were called. Names blacklisted from the con. Lesson is weebs might be degens, but keep the degeneracy at home.
Wait, so question. How did they know it was incestuous? Just by glancing at it?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Corbino.
No, it's like 23 minutes later. Man, this is really messed up.
This is awful. We gotta bust these guys.
I thoroughly examined it. It was Boku no Pico.
Oh God!
Oh Jesus Christ, man! They know the exact terminology. They're like, they were saying Oni-san quite a lot. I don't know.
What?
Boku no Pico is peak degeneracy.
Yeah,
it's very it's a hentai that shota. It's like little boys.
On the subject of, because I'll never have another chance to bring this up. On the subject of like weird animations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have any of you been watching YouTube shorts and then you'll just be watching your normal shorts and all of a sudden there's the gotcha animations that come up? Like some weird fucking 12-year-old uploaded?
I know what you're
talking
about. I forgot, I forgot what they're specifically called, but it's using the one program where it's like very, is it like Go Flash animation?
Okay, I think I know what you mean. Is it when they make like they use like a site called Gotcha and they make like little music videos?
Yeah, like that. Some of them get really creepy.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like the Elsa Gate stuff from back in the. Is it kind of like that?
No, it's like it's actual little children, right? I assume, I hope, that are like they've got their hands on this gotcha animator program, right? And it's just these little like face, like little, almost chibi in a sense, kind of
they're
big-headed
chibis.
body or whatever, and it's just weird because I'll just be watching normal shit.
Yeah.
I'll just be watching normal shit, and then one of those will pop up, and some of them are just normal, and then there's some where it gets dark and scary.
It's a lot of weird, like, because I don't know if you guys know, like the Final Fantasy house or so there were some Kingdom Hearts communities that this happened to a few times too, where it's like people will make their own OCs and then they'll start like, doing that character with each other. And then it becomes like a whole kind of like subculture ecosystem and they get really degenerate really quickly.
Okay.
Weird.
Final question. What does the VTubing community think of Flamenco?
Every time. Like, I feel like most people don't like him because it seems like whenever because if I'm describing like commentary or something, I always go with like, do you know who Flamenco is? And then they're like, ugh, Flamenco.
Okay.
Why would you introduce us that way?
Well, because most of the time, like, because I moderate for Xylee, so like I'll show them like Xylee streams, but then they're like, I don't know what commentary is besides Keemstar, and then I just have to mention Flamenco, and they at least know who that is.
Why would you introduce us with a Xylee stream?
Oh my god, Vtubers. I mean,
to be fair, I also talk about now recording. So,
nice. Manic, you're any
the definitive flamenco take.
Yeah.
Okay. So recently, flamenco followed me on Twitter, and this was probably like 3 weeks ago or so. So I really don't want to shit on him too hard. But the thing is, it's just like so much baggage with him. I don't know, like I haven't like talked to him in DMs or anything. That's just like how scared I am to be like associated with him. I don't even remember, like I don't even know all the degeneracy he did. I know like the weird porn history. Did he do something with his sister? Is that real?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
it was someone else.
Yeah, I think that's just weird rumors that just turned into something, or I don't know. At this point, it's hard to like, it's hard to believe stuff. You know what I mean? When it gets to this point, you know, because anything can make anything up. I just know that the manga that he downloaded has been debatable whether it showed it or not. I'm not gonna fucking read it. And
What do you mean, Matt? I thought we did research, yeah.
oh my god.
No. My research was I asked Vito, and he said it wasn't. So I don't know. Take that with a grain. And then the German group chat that he found himself in Steam, where they all just wound up being pedophiles and posting weird shit. Yeah, and then you have the prolapsed anuses from his Pornhub and all that stuff. I don't know. Like all of it could be bullshit for all I know, but the main part has always been, and I've talked about this a lot, the main part has always been he can't take the joke and he can't seem to let it go, and it just keeps spinning and spinning and spinning and spiraling. And it's just autism. That's what it is.
I'll say this about I'll say this as like a last thing for like the Loli thing, because I think Flamenco gets in trouble a lot for that because he wants to do the debate. I will say this, like having that debate online, there is no real nuance like in that. Like you could imagine a world, right, where you might be able to have like a nuanced discussion about this in very theoretical terms, okay? But the problem is that like pedophilia is a real life thing that does happen, and it is a very big problem, you know, especially these days with a lot of stuff that's been coming out, like the Epstein shit. You know, that had a social change to everything. And I think that people are a lot more kind of knee-jerky maybe about it now even than they would be a few years ago. And that is to say, a few years ago, they were still pretty knee-jerky about pedophilia, everybody ought to be, right? So I was just saying, like, for Flamenco, it's just like, buddy, like, okay, everybody knows your opinion. Stop. Just stop. You don't gotta shout this from the heavens, you know? And I would at the same time encourage everybody out there that if you engage in Loli, and that's the only way that you can really get your rocks off, or even if that's 90 or 80 or 60 or 40 or 30% of the time, maybe you should go seek help, because that's not normal. And you know what I mean? That's problematic.
Yeah, no, like I will say cutting off porn entirely is a very, very beneficial thing.
All right, well, let's not go that far.
That is a lie.
You degenerates. You fucking degens. Jesus.
Look, man, I've been able to handle my porn since I was like 15 years old, okay?
Yeah,
like,
but the cognitive ability that you get when you got all that semen in your nutsack. Come on, Matt Pitt, you know what I'm talking about.
What the fuck?
Manic, are you in your early 20s?
I am not 20 yet.
Oh, so you're
that explains it.
That actually would benefit you, because you have grown up in a world where porn is a click away. I didn't grow up in that world. I grew up in a world where I had to wait up till like 2 a.m. to watch boobs of erotica on Cinemax at So like porn was not as frequent. You couldn't just type in, I want big bouncing boobs and a girl with cat ears, and it pop up. That just that was just non-existent.
You'd have to smuggle magazines or whatever.
Yeah, you'd find magazines in the woods, dude. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like
you guys had like a communal magazine in the wood?
No, you just be walking in the woods. You just be walking in the woods and you find like a porno mag. It was fucking weird, dude.
You know that deep down some hobo was jerking it to it, but you don't care. You're kids. You don't know any better.
You would be so surprised how many people have that shared story of finding porn in the woods. It's a thing, bro. It was a thing back then. But yeah, like
I think that's where you're from.
yeah, well,
It's just the South, I guess. Yeah.
when it comes to how you guys were raised with the internet, I think it fucked with a lot of kids' brains.
Yeah.
That young and impressionable and finding porn, and then you're evolving through your porn at the age of like 14 and 15, when I was probably not watching stuff like that until I was like 23. So you guys just went through this whole weird porn spectrum, you know, and it probably fucked with your brain. So
that's like I didn't really start watching the fucked up shit until I was like 20.
The thing is, you get to the wall and then you back away, right? That's
what I do.
You get all the way up to prolapsed penises and then you back off. Yeah.
Oh.
You slowly climb, and then the post-nut clarity after that last one kicks in, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna take a little break.
Yeah, it's shame. That's called shame, Beavers.
I think my point really is you see a lot of in our culture and commentary with like Augie and like all these guys who are very who are pretty much against like being degenerate porns and stuff like that. I think that's mainly because of how it was so accessible. And go ahead.
Can I share my like funniest story with that whole post-nut clarity thing?
Oh God.
I don't know. I've never heard this story, and I don't know where this is gonna go.
Is it gonna traumatize me, Beavers?
No. I won't even describe what it was, but it was a rough video, right? Like a really rough video. And then you go down to the comments, right? And this is how you know there were everybody that reached that video reached that moment, right? Because in the comments, it was just like, that poor girl. She's somebody's daughter.
This fucking video is bringing people to Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, all the degenerates are just like, Jesus, man. God.
Selection of post-nut clarity just right there in the comments.
Yeah, every comment was like that. There was no like, normally you go into those videos and it's like, oh, that was fucking hot. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. This one was just, oh my God, what did I just watch? Or
I will say this. I will say this and self-report a little bit on those like manga hentai websites that exist.
God.
They have comment sections, and the comment sections for some of those manga are some of the funniest things to read, because most of the time it's posts just like that, Beavers. It's people being like, I'm alone and she'll never be with me again, and I just hate my life. And it's like, oh my God. Oh my God.
All right, I think you found where they commit suicide, not where they get the clarity.
It's a graveyard in that comment section.
It's the sweet release.
Yeah. I also wanted to add like a side note too. Is off topic, I guess. But when it comes to like commentary stuff, we do actually have content creators that specifically do VTuber news.
Nice.
Wow.
And like Nextaku, that's what he does, right? Or
sort of. It's more like Full Side or Kyo or Rev Says Desu. More of them.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Matt, don't assume their culture. You don't know.
Yeah.
What were you saying, man?
I mean, a lot of Rev Says Desu's content is just defending Loli, so.
Oh, is it? I only
I
found him.
No, yeah, like I'm pretty like somebody like links like that, like Rev Says Desu proves that the Lotus Eaters is like whatever, and then literally he's responding to like the dude's anti-CP clip on the Lotus Eaters. Like, okay, buddies, is that really what you want to debunk?
Yeah,
that's funny.
Well, I retract Rev Says Desu then. Do not add him to that. I did not know. Thank you for letting me know.
Have you heard of a person called Curl Renji? Okay, they're like a VTuber commentator. I was talking to them about possibly coming on, and then I was like, he gave me a bunch of recommendations, and I was like, are any of these lollies? Because I want to stay far away from that. And he's like, why would you stay away from that? Bad optics?
Oh God!
He's like, is that bad optics for your channel? Like,
oh my God!
Why would you stay away from that, Matt? Are you not tired of the 2D ones that don't move and interact with you?
And he's like, if you want to make fair points, you better get someone on that disagrees with your takes on these matters. And I was like, listen, man, I don't want to jump in with having a debate with a Loli. We just want to find out more about VTubers. You know what I mean? Like we're not trying to we're trying to just look at the tip of the iceberg. We're not trying to jump in the water. You know?
Right.
Just the tip.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I want to say thank you. I think you guys did a great job to the point where I don't think we need the third person. I think we have a really decent podcast with you guys. And I want to say thank you guys. Go ahead and plug your channel real quick before I let y'all go. And if you have anything else you want to add before I disconnect you, go ahead and say it. We'll start with you, Sky.
Hello again. My name is Rennie. I'm a full-time VTuber over on Twitch known as Sky Livekiss, and I also have a commentary channel named No Skies Land. And I was also just recently on episode 9 of The Broadcast, so be sure to support us because we're having a lot of tryouts.
You actually did a good job.
Out.
Well, no, you did a good job. I liked your topic.
Thank you.
I hope you win the tournament.
I can actually say that doing that episode afterwards, I reached out to one of the content creators I was talking to, and I got a 3-hour plus exclusive interview with one of them. So
What?
Nice.
Awesome. Well, much
Did you
luck to
know
you,
you-
Sky.
Thank you.
Did you know you can pay like $200 for an hour interview with EDP?
Oh God.
No, you need to get someone with like a real like kawaii like ulu voice to interview him. You know, like hello EDP.
We need to get Chani. Chani
Yeah.
and EDP.
Yeah, that's the fuck. Yeah, Connie.
You know what? I'll pay for that. I'll bankroll that. You know.
All right, man. Go ahead
That
and
can
plug
happen.
yourself.
Yeah, so the name is Manic the Manic Mechanic on YouTube, Odyssey, and other alt tech sites. And also my on Twitter is @ManicUCW.
All right, base, buddy. Thank you guys so much for coming on. And if I think we might be approaching this subject again one day, so we'll definitely be in touch.
Yeah, thank you
Okay.
for inviting us.
Yes,
Good one,
thank
guy.
you for having us.
Bye. All right, that went pretty
No,
good.
get ready back in here. What the fuck?
That went good. I was watching the time. I think we've gone pretty long, so I don't think we need the third person. I think we discussed everything.
No, we can record with the other woman. I'm okay with that.
No, I already DM'd her and said we're good.
You piece of shit.
But-
The only reason I let the manic guy on is because we were gonna have another woman.
but
Balance it out.
but I think we might like I said, I think we might approach this subject again. I'm going to try and find an Ulu anime girl, and I will also have the other person on as well. And maybe we can have even more in-depth conversation about VTubing if you guys liked this episode. If you guys liked this episode, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to say what your criticisms or whatever in the comments. If you want to become a member, you just hit that join button, you know? And what else? Am I? How did you guys enjoy this interview?
I thought it was fun. I mean, I thought it was interesting. Like, again, my perception is just that the commentary community in general needs a little bit more perspective when it comes to anime, because I see too much knee-jerk reaction to calling things that are very obviously just normal anime stuff, like immediate pedophilia because of Loli. And it's like, you know, it's Loli is a smaller subsect of the larger anime community. Like you can't just like cast it out. It would be like saying because of like some sports figure got involved with some sort of domestic abuse that all sports people are domestic abusers. It's like, nah, you know. So I think that we've, you know, kind of shown that like, you know, there's a sizable amount of people within the anime and even VTuber communities who don't do that. They don't engage with that stuff and they don't like it either, you know, and they fight it. And they're, like you guys were saying, they are considered the cockroaches of those communities. So I think that's interesting to take away from.
Also,
sorry.
ahead.
I don't like people that like anime, and I don't like people that like Loli, so I'm okay with us using a shotgun at the minute. I don't think we need a sniper. Load that thing up with buckshot and fire away.
I just wanted to hear Rennie talk again and again and again. She has such a great voice.
Thank you.
More
By the way,
than I am.
Simp!
By the way, shout out to our guys who are bad with money. Twitter Geek, Mame, Brian, and Stefan Corbino. If you want to be bad with money, you can hit that join button, and for $14.99, we will shout you out at the end. Remember, but if you want cheaper, you can become a Stumpy for $4.99, or a Beaver Lover for I think $6.99. Beaver Lover will get you into priority callers. Stumpy will get you pretty much, membership streams, the Discord, all that good stuff. So, other than that, guys, I bid you adieu. And remember, now recording is always recording. Have a good one.
Woo!
Bye.